Hi guys, welcome back. Today we will solve a very common problem. Suppose we have given an array and our task is to check if the array has any duplicates or not. For example, let's suppose we have this array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 2. Okay. Here the answer is true because 2 is repeated twice because 2 is appearing more than once. Okay. So now let's think about the most natural solution. Okay. So as humans, we might compare every element with every other element. For example, we will compare 1 with every element after 1, and we will compare 2 with every element after 2. Same 3 with 4, 5 and 2, 4 with 5 and 2, and 5 with 2. And if in any step there are duplicates, the element matches, so we can say that array has duplicates. Okay. Okay, so let's proceed to a straightforward solution using the nested loops. Okay, so how we will do that? Okay, so here first we will start the loop starting from let I is equal to 0, I is less than array dot length, then I plus plus. So here we start the first loop and we start from here, like we pick the first element. Now we want to compare this element with every other element. Okay, so for that we need a nested loop. Okay, so for let j equals to I plus 1. Okay, j is less than array dot length, then j plus plus. Okay, and here we will compare if array of I equals to array of j. Okay, so we can return true, which means the array has duplicates. Okay, now so let's first test this solution. Okay, so what we will do, we will just console.log normal approach. Okay, so all right, so I will say node detect duplicates and enter. So true. Okay, and if I replace this 2 with something else, let's suppose 0, and if we run it, it is saying undefined. Of course, what we can do is if we are not returning from these loops, by default we can return false. Okay, so you see false. Okay, all right. So what is happening here? Okay, this solution is working fine. So but let's analyze what is happening. Okay, so if you notice, we are repeatedly checking values that we have already seen. For example, when we were processing the 1, we were checking 2, 3, 4, 5 and 0. So 3, 4, 5 and 0 were also processed when we were checking comparing the element 2. Okay, 450 is processed for when comparing the 1, when comparing the 2 and when comparing the 3. So here there are elements which are checking repeatedly. Okay, so here we are checking the searching the same data set again and again. So just not one thing, remember one thing, whenever repeated searching appears, there is usually an opportunity for optimization. Okay, so let's just think about a different solution. Okay, uh, what if we instead of searching the elements repeatedly, what if we store the elements somewhere that these elements are already processed? Okay, and maybe like we know, okay, these elements are already in the array. So if this is possible, then we can optimize our solution here. Okay, so how I will be doing that? Okay, here I will use a set. Okay, I will use a set. Okay, so okay, let's do that. Then I will explain it how it's working. So first I will just create a variable scene. Okay, just to see. Okay, now I will process the array in let I is equal to 0, I is less than array dot length, then I plus plus. Okay, what I will do, I will check if has scene already has this element array of I, this element, then it means the array has duplicates. Okay, otherwise I will return false. Okay, but before returning, if we do not find this element in the scene, what we need to do, we also need to store scene dot add. See here what we are doing, we are storing the element which we process already in this set, so that we don't have to loop the array again and again to find the duplicate. Set is a data structure which cannot hold the duplicates. If you're trying to put the duplicates in the set, it will ignore that. If it already contains an item or element, it will just ignore it. Okay, so this is, let's try this. Let's run this, then I will explain what is happening here. Optimized approach. Okay, so yeah, both are false, of course. Why false? Because here we will change the event. Now let's run it again. Now both are giving true. Normal is also true and optimized approach is also true. Okay, so now let's see what is happening here in this problem. Okay, what we are doing in the optimization approach. So in the optimization approach, let me just, yeah, now it's better to see. Okay, so what we are doing is, okay, as we iterate through the array, what we do, we let's suppose first we start with the 1. Okay, we check if this set already has 1, this element. If has, it means the array has duplicates. Array is a duplicate, as a duplicated items. Okay, so but 1 is not here. Okay, so we will add the 1 in the set and proceed to the next index. 2 is also not in the set because set has only 1. Okay, now 2 is also not there, we will also store the 2. Now the set has 1 and 2. For 3 is also not seen before, we store it. 4 is also not seen before, we store it. 5 is also not seen before, we store it. When it comes to this 2, this 2 is already seen, this is already available in the set at this place. Okay, so it will turn true from here. Okay, so here when reaching this point, we already have 2 in the scene or in the set, so it will return true. It means we found a duplicate. That means our array has a duplicate element. Okay, so here in this approach, okay, you can see we have had here this nested loop inside the loop, but with this optimized approach, we totally, ignored or avoided the nested loop. Okay, so here our complexity improves from O(n) square to O(n). Here the complexity is O(n) square, and here the complexity is O(n). Okay, now, so what is the real lesson here? Okay, so instead of repeatedly searching through data, store the information somewhere so future lookups become faster. Okay, now I'm going to give you a one real world example where it will be useful. Okay, so right now here the array contains only the numbers, that we have to find if this array has duplicates or not. But in a real world scenario, what you may have the email addresses of the users. Okay, you may have thousands of email addresses, millions of email addresses, and what you need to do is you need to find the duplicated email addresses, or you need to improve the array or to remove the duplicated email addresses from the array. So here, this approach, you can use the set. So while looping through all elements or email addresses in the array, you can store the array in the set. if set already has that email address, it will not contain the duplicate. So that's how you can remove the duplicates. Okay. So there is also one more, real world example. Okay. And I have used this approach in my production app. Okay. So my task was to use to find the duplicate invoices from the transactions, or you can say invoices records. Okay. And I had like 400,000 records. Okay. So earlier I was doing this four and four inside a for loop approach, and the time was too much. But initially I didn't notice this time gap. Why? Complexity. Why? Because the data set was small. Okay. Like 10,000 records, 20,000 records, 30,000 records. But when the data set grows to hundred and thousands, like 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. So then I see the lagging, I see the latency. Then I rework on the solution using this set. Okay. Like I reworked on a solution, I considered to using the hash map or a hash set. So then the complexity was reduced, and in, you can say, in milliseconds, I processed the 400,000 records. So I already wrote a detailed Medium article on this topic. Okay, the link is in the description, so please check it out. If you have any questions, please comment. You can ask in the comments. And if you enjoyed this style of explanation focused on optimization and engineering thinking, please subscribe for more videos. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.